seeing yourself on the screen?
I feel a little bit intimidated.
Yeah. You're okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
And we're gonna do all English, so your friends in Mexico can watch this.
Yeah, perfect. Probably gonna reach like a lot of ears.
Like
in New York and around.
Might do. Depends on
Europe too.
Depends on your virality.
I mean, I think the virality will probably be higher and higher.
Sky's the limit.
Oi, it's pumping! It's pumping! We need to go surfing. I'm just driven past yours now. Let's go surfing. Or up to you. Choose your weapon of choice. Choose your poison. Meet me there. Let's surf. I'm ready. I'm hungry. Ah!
Welcome to a new episode of Reve Allstars here from the coast of Jæren in Norway. My name is Ivar, or Jung Reve, and today I have a good friend of mine guesting the podcast, Solano.
Thank you to having me. Did you just say Jung Reve?
Yeah.
Where did you get that name?
It's a story for later.
Okay.
10 years ago, I met this Mexican bodyboarder in the. I don't think I met you in the waves. Probably
I think we just met by being friends from friends.
Yeah. Surf community in Jæren. And Teddy, he stayed in Jæren for a couple of years, and then he left to do other things somewhere else. And just life has been happening, and now all of a sudden, so many years later, you show up again at Jæren because you're in Norway working.
I'm in Norway. Well, I will not say like straight up working. I work for a rock band from New York called the Mystery Lights. Going here the new record, Purgatory. So nice. And so things in life took me to be part of this band and to help them out mainly on their European tours. So suddenly we end up coming up to Norway.
Yeah.
We did like 3 concerts, Tromsø, Oslo, and Bergen. All successful. We love Norwegian people.
And you have a break on the tour, and that's why you're here.
Yeah, that's when I was like, okay, you know what? The guys live in New York. They make like the savage run to come to Norway and experience the midnight sun for 5 days straight. And it was brutal, but they pulled through. And I said, I don't want to be on the jet lag side of the moon. So that's when I call you and I'm like, hey, man. I'm just going to go and visit you.
Because you're staying here until next work starts.
Exactly. We have another European tour coming on. Some festivals in Spain and Netherlands and Belgium. And as I said, I just got advantage of the situation and said, I have like all my friends in Norway that I have that I haven't seen, like you, to mention some of the other names. You know who I'm talking about. And that's what I'm here in beautiful Jæren.
Use the opportunity.
I thought maybe amongst the surf schools are saying everyone should be surfing together now, because I get the feeling if you
safety in numbers.
Yeah, if you drive past Bora and you see Fruitigar out there at 5 a.m, that's the best place to go because he spent the last 3 hours driving around the coast
with the night vision goggles.
Exactly. Yeah.
So why the fuck do you, Teddy, know Norwegian?
Why do I know Norwegian?
Because you're one of so many people around these parts. So Jæren is obviously Stavanger area of Norway, southwest coast. And the coastline has a lot of, there's a lot of surf waves going all the way down the coast.
Yeah.
And what happens typically is if any foreigner comes to Norway, typically it's with a Norwegian girl. Norwegian girl goes abroad, meets foreign guy.
It's a trap.
Yeah, we call it the sexual refugees. And
it's a trap.
And the Norwegian girls, bring the foreigners back to Norway. And when they come back to Norway in Stavanger area, the foreigners, they realize there's waves here. So what happens is, in the waves at Jæren, you will find a lot of foreigners. And most of the foreigners are sexual refugees. And most of them get divorced from the Norwegian girlfriends quite quickly.
Well,
hence the trap.
I will not get that deep into that conversation because I.
But this is how you ended up here.
Yeah, I respect women first of all. So
that you respect women.
Disclosure on that. And in my defense, the first time I came to Norway, I didn't had any girlfriend. I didn't met any girls. I just came here because I had a friend that was living in Norway, and at the time I was living in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and it was easy for me to come and visit him. And then I went around and I look at it, and I remember being in the center of Stavanger, and I remember being there just like by myself. I was looking for my friends, but there was a moment that I got caught with that I'm like, I had this thought. I really had this thought, and I said like, this will be a place that I could easily live. Like, you have those thoughts from time to time when you are like traveling. And that one was strong. I was like, I think this place will be somewhere that I could really live. Then, whatever. I fall into the trap, and I met this girl, so and so and so. It didn't work out, but I had like really amazing. I have already met really amazing people that they were kind enough to like offer me jobs and willing to apply for all of my work permits and stuff. Shout out to us, who's it? Shout out to.
But that's how many foreigners in this area come to be here and stay here for a while at least. So this is also how we met each other as we.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So when I picked you up yesterday, we did a trip with my car down the memory lane of the coastline.
Yeah.
How was it for you seeing all of the old surf spots and everything again? Like,
oh man, like I don't know if you saw my face, but when we were like driving around like this surf spot called Steinen, like that was one of the spots that I have in my heart really imprinted because of how many times I spent there with my friends and how many like the first time I ever surfed cold water in my life was there. And it just came a lot of flashbacks because when I left Norway, I said to myself, I don't think I'm gonna go back to Norway. Like, it's really far.
That's it.
It's an expensive country.
You've done it.
I've done it and stuff like that. But then when I was here, and you gave me the ride through the memory lane, I forgot how much I like this coast, and I forgot how nice it is to live in Norway. And being here in your trailer, as I was sending you a message yesterday night, it was like so peaceful and so nice. Like so still Norwegian vibe, of being like no noise and just like the wind and the birds and stuff. I was just like, oh man, this is bliss. Like I remember these days, and I remember how much I enjoyed to live in Norway. I love Mexico. Don't get me wrong. Mexico is an amazing, beautiful country, but for me, Norway is like being in another planet.
But pros and cons of every place, and every place grows old as well. But it's it's a surf related. Yesterday was a shit day. It's off season and everything, so there was nothing which would normally get people going. But good, just seeing the place. This is a fucking beautiful place, isn't it?
For me, seeing the place yesterday was like, I was even seeing waves where there was no waves. So that's like, it's like when you something is bad for you, but you cannot still say like, no, it's good for me. That was yesterday me like, oh, there's no waves, so there's a wave there, like I probably can ride that one. But just being there, it was like it got me pumped. I remember a lot of things.
How do you remember surfing, Jæren? You're a bodyboarder.
Yeah. That's my main, like, I will say that's my main, like, craft of choice, like bodyboarding. I love all type of surfing. I love longboarding as well too. But bodyboarding have been with me forever. And what was the question?
How do you remember being a surfer around these spots?
Man, I remember the first time I surfed here ever in my life. And I had a friend that borrowed me a wetsuit and borrowed me some flippers and a bodyboard. It was weird because I was like, there was not so much like surfing vibes going on those days when I lived here. Just as we were speaking with Per, like not so long ago, like how it was like you will get to Reve or to any of these spots, and you'll know there is waves, and you will see just one car parked. It was funny to hear from him that now all you see is like Porsches and Teslas and all these cars parked there, and he's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But anyways,
Norway, the only country in the world where the main surf car is a Tesla.
oh, that's crazy. But anyways, I remember that, and I remember like jumping in the water for the first time and feeling this 6mm wetsuit and this like boots 8mm and like hoodie, and like I'm floating more than the bodyboard now. Like, you know, I'm like, I have so much floatability that when I'm like paddling, I'm not able to surf. I'm kind of like, fuck. So I barely made it to the lineup. My whole face, it's like burning. These wetsuits have little holes here and there, so I'm feeling like needles. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like needles because it's just like so cold. Anyways, I remember taking a wave, just one wave, and getting out and being so bummed. I was like, man, I don't think I'm a surfer. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, if I can't surf here, like really, I'm not a surfer. And, you know, I've been surfer like fairly a big part of my life since I'm like really young. And I remember being really bummed and going out and being like, oh, fuck this, man. Like, I don't think I'm a surfer, stuff like that. Slowly, I started getting to know persons like you, like a lot of my friends around here, and they start giving me all these tips on, you know, like what type of wetsuit to buy, like to bring warm water in between sessions so you can put it on your gloves and your wetsuit, this and that, like jump in after the surf into like your car and just like blast the fucking heat in, stuff like that. And slowly I get used more to the cold water, to the point that now I was like such a fish in the water without my hood, and it was like snowing, and I was just kind of like, you know. So I got used to it. It was now for me like a cold Hawaii, you know, because I remember arriving a lot of times with just my friend Mustafa, and we will drive and nobody out, perfect waves for 3-4 hours just for us, and it was like I couldn't wrap my head off of that thought. It was like, I feel so privileged in those days because there was so much surfer as we spoke. And coming from Mexico, you know, it's all the time crowded. It's like a lot of people. You have to be fighting with the locals. You have to have beefs with the tourists, and you have to fight for your wave. And here it was just me and him. You know, the perks of having like cold water and windy conditions, and it's not always beautiful and sunny, but still, there's like this coast of Jæren, in my opinion, have one of the best waves I ever had in my life. Like amazing waves, really. Not all of the time, but you know it. You know if you know, I think.
That's a ringing endorsement from the
you know if you know.
The Mexican.
The
Mexican Viking.
The Mexican Viking, yeah. Man. I think I was a Viking, like in another life.
So Mystery Lights is, what do you call it, like a psychedelic rock, nostalgic rock band?
You know, you can decide by your own self.
Yeah. Okay, but we are in the rock genre, basically. And the thing is, you, Teddy, you somehow, unbeknownst to me, have ended up being the tour manager for this rock band.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So, by life luck, one of the founders of the band, L.A. Solano, together with Mike Brandon, they started this band just being like young kids in a skate park in Salinas, California. And Luis happens to be my first cousin. His dad and my dad are brothers. So, you know, he was doing his thing living in the U.S. I was doing my thing living in Mexico. You know, I lived everywhere that I was able to do, like got involved in music in Mexico with friends, you know, helping them with their bands. I always had that bug in me of wanting to be something involved with the music business. So one day, out of the blue, when I was living in Norway in those days, he told me, hey, I have a tour in Norway. You got to come and see the band. So we did. I joined them, and it was kind of like a clique. You know, we kind of like update ourselves. I got to know better the band members at the time. It ended up being a thing that they were all the time like inviting me for the tours. And then any time that I had like a little time off, I would just jump in their van. And organically, I would just help them out doing merch, help them out loading in, loading out the van.
Roadie-ish.
Yeah. You know, roadie without like being part of the band, but just like organically, because, you know, they're my friends. Now they're my friends and family. And organically start just becoming it. Till we had like this really funny story where we were in LA and they were touring and having like some concerts there. And I was having my dog Rue with me at that time, so we were like touring with a dog and the whole thing. Anyways, somehow I feel like really trusty enough that night to just kind of like see that they were lacking a couple of stuff. Not as them as a band, just like in the production of the day. And suddenly I kind of took over. I was drunk enough to do it. Next thing I know is like this guy, the production manager of the night, is like, "Hey man, come to my office." I mean, I thought it was gonna happen something else, you know.
What did you think would
You know, to be honest, he's like, "I don't know, man, is this guy gonna offer me some drugs? What is gonna happen?" Like, he's calling me to an office. Like, it's just me and him. Like, I don't know what is gonna happen. Well, suddenly he starts talking to me and say like, "Hey man, you know, like, thank you so much. It was like really nice to have you guys here. Like, thank you for your guys and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like in my head, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? So then I see he take out a check. He started writing it and then gave it to me. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to put myself in the position of being like, no, why are you giving us? So I was like, "Oh yeah, man, yeah, thank you so much. We will do it again. Like, just hire us whenever you want, blah, blah." It went out, jump into the van. I'm there with my cousin next to me. And, you know, I just like forgot about that. I actually got paid. And sometimes after a show, they are like so adrenalinic and stuff that they are just thinking about like the high. So we're in the van, a little bit more chilled. I touch my pocket and I'm like, oh, I have this check. So I give it to him and show it to him. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing with it?" And like, I don't know, man, this guy just paying me and stuff. So he kind of looked at me and I kind of looked at him and I couldn't really, he didn't say it out loud, but I could see in his eyes, it was like, "Oh, I think you got a job." You know, they went through, I got busy, life got busy, and they went through a lot of like amazing tour managers from all over the world. And that's when I came into the mix. This Australian tour manager they had at the time, he have overrun all of his visas in Europe.
Yeah, so he couldn't go traveling more.
So
basically.
he couldn't come back, and they had like an important tour that was like, we call it the COVID tour, because it was like right before COVID hit. So I received this call from Blair. That's his name. Big shout out to Blair.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Blair.
Shout out to Blairski. And he's like, "Hey man, you know, I have overrun my visas to go with the guys to Europe, and I think you are the perfect one to do it. And I think the guys will be like really, really happy if you do it." So, you know, in my mind, I have always been ready to do this. So it was about time for me to just have the opportunity. And I always said, "I'm down. So just let me know when, how." Called the guys. They were like extremely stoked. And after that, it was like love at first sight.
Not first sight though, because you've seen each other before, but that first meeting.
At first, like, let's just say at first official.
Yeah.
You know, at first official. Now it was official. Now I was there. Now I was in the real deal.
COVID, that's like 2020. So it'd be 5 years.
So it was like 2020, January 2020.
So it would be 5 years now.
Yeah, it was like crazy. We pulled through the whole tour, and then the band kind of like slowed down. Then suddenly 2024 comes, and I received a call from Michael Brown. And he's like, "Hey man, we're back.
Let's repeat the success."
Yeah, we're back." So I'm like, okay, so how is it gonna be? He gave me the rundown. You know, now they're all excited. Now they're all back with that spark in their eyes, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Let's do it. What's the day-to-day job for you as a tour manager?
Well, it starts depending on how is our schedule for the day. Mainly, it's like really, I think a lot of people have a bad idea of what touring is and what touring musicians and touring crew. It's living day to day. Everybody thinks it's like all luxury and fun and the rock star life. They probably are just getting fucked up, and they're probably just like living their lives and throwing TVs from fucking hotel windows.
As you should.
As we should, But first of all, we're good people, so we will not throw a TV from a window from any hotel. Sorry, IBs. But anyways, so we will start with like, hopefully, if we are fresh enough to wake up for the include breakfast, we'll have a quick breakfast. We'll go through like the route that we have to take on the day. And then mainly we just start driving, listening to music. We are now connoisseurs of gas stations in Europe.
Oh, yeah, especially.
We are specialists now.
Specialists on the gas stations.
Yeah. Like, we don't get fooled by any good-looking gas station. We know our stuff. We all have our own tricks. So we're trying to avoid them too, because, it's really unhealthy, all the food that they got.
Gas station.
Coffee's good. Then, arriving to a venue, a lot of calls, a lot of emails just to arrange the daily run of the show. Mm-hmm. Arrive to a venue, load in all of our equipment. We are traveling with amps and guitars and drum kit and the whole thing. Set up, sound check. If we are on time, which, we're trying always to be on time, but there's things out of our control that doesn't allow us to do it. And we really prioritize a lot of sleep. So we're always a little bit late. That's the truth. Sorry to all the promoters around. And then...
it's not our fault. We just prioritize sleeping.
We just prioritize sleep. That's the truth. Like, we are not hungover. We just want to sleep. It's tough. It's a tough life.
But you're on the venue, and then...
sound check. If we have a little bit of time, we just like hang out a little bit in the green room, go for a little walk, go for a little stroll. It's mainly like hotel, van, gas station, venue, hotel. Repeat it all over again.
What constitutes a good gas station for you guys?
Good coffee.
Good coffee, yeah.
Good one. Soup.
It's good soup?
Yeah.
Okay.
A clean, free bathroom.
Yeah.
And protein bars. That's what it makes for us a good gas station.
Okay, and what's the number one country for good gas stations in Europe, I guess?
Oh my God. I will say probably in between. They are all trippy, man. Like, they are all trippy. Like, if you go to Spain, they sell you like full on like legs of like jamon serrano, like serrano, big ones, and you're like, just in a gas station, And then you go to gas stations in Norway, and they have like 20 different types of like sausages, hot dogs. It's like, oh man, what the fuck is going on? So I will say that maybe it's somewhere in between Germany and Netherlands.
Okay, good to know.
Germany have really solid gas stations where you arrive and there's like this 75-year-old lady listening to techno, super happy, and it's like 9 a.m, and she's like with like the rave vibes, and you're like, okay, this is vibey, this is vibey. So we like those type of situations, when there is like weird people around that it can like awake something in our mind really early. So that's what we do. We like
soups,
it. Soups are to go for us.
That takes me back as well, Mexico. When I was in Mexico with you, we had went on a binge drinking. The mezcal thing.
Oh my god!
The devil in the eyes, mezcal. And there was a guy selling soup. Do you remember red soup?
I remember that was in Oaxaca City.
Oaxaca City, and you bought soup.
Yeah.
And it was. Ate it.
And that was it. Then you were good. I remember,
No, it wasn't. That wasn't it. It was the fucking most spicy soup I've ever eaten.
No. That's esquites. That's esquites. That's like the corn from the cob, and then take like all the grains and they put it to you in a little glass, and they put some kind of broth.
Yeah, because the spicy thing is not the corn.
No, I prepare it spicy because I know my Norwegian friends are like really fucked up drunk. I know the spicy will like hook them up because we were all drunk. We were like drinking so much mezcal that time, and. Yeah. But it's kind of a soup in the end. It's like brothy. It's like a brothy street food item, we'll say.
Yeah.
And I'm actually more scared of, probably more chance of hurting myself in weaker sort of beach break waves than what I would be surfing those slabs and stuff.
So it's the safe option. The icebox, the safe option. Yeah. That should be the name of the movie.
We gotta start promoting slab surfing as a safe way to start.
You, just before you came here, you went to Bergenfest in Bergen, Norway, of course, which is a festival. I mean, by Norwegian standards, a mid-sized festival. Norwegian standards is always smaller than everything else because it's a small country.
Yeah.
Was it like showing up at the festival?
Bergenfest, I think it was an amazing place to be. People there was like, Norway standards, as you said, like you can't beat Norway standards. People is like on time every day, in every moment.
Nobody prioritizes sleeping.
Nobody prioritizes sleeping in Norway, it looks like. But they are on time. People is really professional, really accommodating. Shout out to Bergenfest. They were amazing with the band. And it was good. It was good to see good organization with like really relaxed vibes, Sometimes you go to festivals or to venues and everybody's kind of like really stressed out. Like, people is kind of like, oh, this and the time, blah, blah, blah. Here, everything was flowing. Like people were like really cool. We were like extremely tired coming back from Tromsø for a really early flight. So it was a brutal one.
Yeah, plus the midnight sun.
Plus the midnight sun,
it's always never dark, basically.
And the band was coming from New York, and they were kind of jet lagged. Well, not kind of jet lagged, completely jet lagged. And the night before in Tromsø was an amazing concert where people went wild. We had a really early flight next morning after the show in Tromsø.
Yeah, Tromsø is far, far north in Norway.
Yeah. And that took a little bit of a toll. We had an early show in Bergenfest. We were a little bit skeptic about if people were going to show up. And then we had a big surprise because, it was the first act of the day on a Saturday. And the room was quite full. People were going for it. I know that the band looks way better when it's like a slot that is a little bit later. But somehow it worked out, and we were like extremely stoked and happy to be there. Like it was a really nice opportunity. Not to mention that some band members are really fans of Aurora, so we were able to watch a little bit of her show and in
her hometown of Bergen.
Yeah, we were in her hometown, and she's an amazing artist that we were able to see. So that was a major highlight for us.
So just trying to get to understand your daily job. So basically your job is to make everything move smoothly?
Everything moves smoothly. Like, I have like unofficial titles. Alex, the bass player of the band, calls me the Army Swiss knife.
Oh yeah, man of many tricks.
The man of many tricks, because
master of none.
I'm really committed to this. I like it. I am a social person. I can like flip from A to B to C without like having a blink. I am the light technicians for them in their shows, So I do as much as I can for them and with them. And I think, like, you know, as a team, the part that I do, I try to facilitate a lot of things for them so they can focus as well, like on their shows, on their daily shows. Their job is demanding, even though it sounds like, oh, it's just an hour and a half set, like whatever. Like, they pull through with a lot of energy from themselves, and they receive a lot of energy from the people, and it can be drainage, you know. So I'm trying to make everything smooth for them, working with agents in Europe, and try to make sure that everything is in place for us when we arrive, hotels, vans, etc., etc.
Yeah, because a lot of the job is also getting the preparation done before you come, isn't it?
Exactly. You know, like we need to have a lot of things in place for it. As I tell you, hotels, vans, equipment, even though meals, like, you know, little details that somehow, if we don't have them in place, it can be disastrous for the day of the show. You know, we need to have this day pretty much set for success for the night, you know, so everything runs smoothly. And basically that's what I do. I drive too for the band. You know, we do a lot of driving, and that's one of my chores too. And you know, I love it. I love it.
On the road, and you're a guy who likes to travel, so basically
exactly.
It's
you know, it's perfect for me.
The touring life is a grind, I guess, because it's so many stops. Like, but you get to see the world, don't you? I
mean, you get to see the world. You get to experience the world. You get to experience people. You know, to hear. Like, sometimes even if it's just for a short run, you get engaged in conversations that are like really interesting, that leave you something. You see faces of people, and just by knowing that music can put this much people together and just like make them like get so loose, and more in European countries that, you know, they tend to be like really, really still, you know, like for any reason that they have. So somehow the band have these charms that they go onto stage, and then I think they can loosen up the thoughtless crowds.
I wasn't a tour manager, but I joined with some friends of mine on a crust punk tour in Eastern Europe quite a few years ago. And I designated myself to be the t-shirt salesman of the punk band.
Yeah, like you were the merch guy.
The merch guy. I'm a terrible salesman. So, and you can just imagine a Norwegian prices trying to sell t-shirts to crust youth of Eastern Europe. I sold one or two t-shirts through the whole tour.
Oh my God.
But I remember we came to, it was either Hungary or Slovenia, or like, I can't remember quite the country, but the guy who had booked the band for the concert, we arrived at the venue, and it was just a bar. Like, okay, and you can play in a bar, of course, but there was no area to play in the bar. It was just a bar, like where you can buy the drinks.
Yeah.
And a couple of chairs, and that was it. And the guy came and met us, the booker, and he took us down in the basement of the bar. And there was this scene you could play. But the guy, he had, when he showed up, he was like 16, 17 years old, like really young. And what basically this tour was just playing. So you played for goulash and staying the night. So when the band came, you got food and you got a place to sleep.
Yeah.
So we slept in some pretty dank, like squats through Europe. And, and in this particular place, this young guy, of course he had forgotten, or he said he had forgotten. Anyway, nobody showed up. Just him and his two friends showed up to the concert. So there was more people on the stage than
than outside in the hall.
Just fuck it, we are here. Just enjoy the moment. And then he said, "Yeah, and now I'm going to take you to your sleeping place." Okay, yeah, we just joined him and we drove to him, and we came to like this huge, like Soviet-ish apartment complex. Okay, you have an apartment for us. So that's nice. And we stuck into like a tiny small elevator, and we went up to like floor 10 or something, and we opened the door to an apartment. Okay, this apartment looks like someone lives here. Oh, it's your apartment. Oh, it's not actually your apartment. It's your parents' apartment. Oh, you want us to go in here? And we went into his bedroom. So the whole band, the whole band, we slept.
Classic.
Plus me, the t-shirt salesman, we slept in his bedroom.
Classic, man.
That's fucking classic.
That's a classic. You know, like, I think on my time touring with the band, I've been like extremely lucky. I think they did the grind before me.
Before you
know,
came
like,
in. Yeah.
where they used to like not have a tour manager, do the drive themselves, do everything themselves. And they got into definitely situations where they were like Luis and Mike were telling me like not so long ago, like, man, like, do you remember, like, they were talking and I was there in the conversation and they're like, do you remember when we show up to like gigs and we used to say in the mic like, hey, so who's gonna let us stay tonight in their house? And always a fan will show up and let us stay because, you know, they wanted to save money at that time and they were wilder, they were younger. Up to date, we're trying to keep all that thing like a little bit more tidy. That doesn't mean we are exempt of like some crazy situations. Like, we have got a couple of good stories.
Go for it.
So, quick one, because this can go for like an hour talk. We were in Switzerland. So, you know, we had a great show in Zurich. I know the guys appreciate a lot to just go after a show and stay somewhere calm in the mountains, something like that. So I'm looking at this Airbnb, and it looks like amazing. It looks like a sauna, and we are all sauna enthusiasts, and it have like a bathtub, and we're all bath enthusiasts, and everybody have their own room, and it's like not so far from Zurich, but in the mountain. And I remember like looking at the description of the guy. And in the end, it just says like, come and be free. So I was like, I thought it was really funny. So I was okay, man, I think this is the spot. So I'm trying to always surprise these guys.
Come and be free.
Yeah, come and be free. So I always try to surprise them with the accommodations on days off. So I was like, okay, you know, this is gonna be a good surprise. So, hey, Teddy, where are we going? You know,
I like being free.
Yeah, you know, so I was like, I need actually like the photos were looking amazing. So, you know, classic question the next morning was like, okay, so where are we staying? Where are we going? And I'm like, always trying to keep it a little bit mysterious. And I'm like, you guys just chill down, relax. We're driving. So we're driving there, you know, arrived to the place. It's no one there. The guy is sending me some messages telling me, man, I'm going to have a party the day before. I'm going to give you a discount. I'm going to make sure that everything is clean. You just arrive. He gave me like the directions to get there, the instructions. Anyways, we arrived there. It kind of looks sketchy, you know. There's like another house next to it. But, you know, all these European houses have like several houses in one same complex of house. So I'm just checking it out. Anyways, found the place to get in. We come in, you know. The place is looking good at first sight. Then, you know, we do the regular check of, okay, where's the rooms? What are we going to do? So then we start, like, finding all this crazy stuff. Like, start finding kind of, like rat shit in the beds. You know, these small bits of, like, kind of, like rat feces. And I'm like... like, okay, so it's starting to be weird, but we are saying, you know, we're like really tired. Like, we just like fucking clean this place and just sleep through.
Deal with it, yeah.
I'm telling you, this is like a cabin for, I don't know, like the 1900s in Switzerland. So it have like these crazy big ovens that are looking really scary, you know. So we're having like really dark thoughts there. We were a little bit hungover. We're really tired. We're kind of like, man, what are we doing here? The weather starts changing from being really sunny to being really gray and windy. There is like some turntables there with like, you know, a little bit of the feedback that when you have not connected properly a speaker is like. So we kind of start getting the creeps. We're starting like, man, what the fuck are we doing? We start checking out. We are finding like big bags of mushrooms. We're like, it's just like that so-called sauna was like probably a sauna for one people standing up. This like bathtub that he says, it was like a little like super like horrible, man, horrible. I'm just there like thinking like, man, what am I gonna do now? So I'm calling this guy and I'm like, man, like, you know, your place is dirty. And he's like, okay, I'm coming there. We're finding like really trippy stuff. So everybody's kind of having like, as I tell you, like we're all having dark thoughts at the moment. It's like, man, what the fuck? Like this place looks like it's owned by a serial killer or something. Like it's kind of weird. So then this guy comes, all dressed in black, looking kind of like he had a night, quite young, and he's like crazy. Like we all go out and we start talking with him. I'm like, hey man, you know what? I think I want my money back. And so he's like, no, I can give you the money back. Like this and that. And he's looking like he's having like a big black jacket that is kind of like he looks like he's hiding something under that jacket, that coat. So we're like really sketched out at the moment. So I tell the guys, like, you know, guys, go into the van. They get into the van. Anyways, Alex gives me a knife, like the bass player. He's like, man, take my knife. And I'm like, man, I don't think so. No, dude, take it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I take this like little Swiss knife. And I'm kind of now all sketched out, you know. I remember Lily, our keyboard player, she's like with a bag of popcorns, not saying anything, and just like chain eating, like, just like super nervous. And I'm like, okay, fuck, like I need to keep calm this situation. I'm just gonna go with the guy to talk. So they are inside the van. They are looking at the guy by a window, kind of moving really sketchy, while me coming in, and it looks like he wants to like you know, take over the back of me. So these guys are in the van like, oh fuck, like no, Teddy, don't go. So I'm just going there, pulling it through. I'm doing some deals with the guy, and he's like, man, I'm gonna take you to another house. And he tells me it's an artist's house. It's full of art. And we're like, okay. So I go with the guys, like, guys, I think we just have to go through this. Man, the guy is taking us to roads that are like really, really narrow, like, you know, a little bit of a mistake and we go down the hill.
Sketchy as fuck, baby.
We arrive to this like really crazy place too. It looks a little bit better from the outside. So I go down with Lily and I'm like, okay, Lily, you come with me. So, man, creepy scene. He is like open. It's like, man, artist house, full of art. His English is a little bit rusty. We open the door. There is like this really old lady in front of the fire knitting, looking like, you know, after we realized she was cute. But now we're all hungover. We are all kind of like tired. We're all sketched out. So we see that scene of this like really old lady, like rocking on her chair in front of the fire knitting, and looked at us and it's like, hi, welcome. And me and Lily are like, no, man, like, fuck. Anyways, it ended up being good. He took us to this like other like little housing within the house. It was a trippy house indeed. A lot of art, as he said. But now we're safe. Man, story doesn't finish there. We pull it through. We go to sleep. I woke up. Regular check. I check the weather and stuff, and I have like a big storm advisor in Switzerland that is going to be from this time to this time. So, you know, I'm still tired. I'm kind of burned out at that point. And I wake up kind of panicking. And I'm like, man, guys, like, fuck, I think we have to leave like really early. Everybody's kind of like, no, man, come on, it's day off. And I'm like, man, I don't know. There's going to be a fucking storm. I think we just like have to get it through. If not, we're not going to make it to the next spot. Anyways, we decide to stay over the whole storm. While we're talking about this and that, we all go back to our beds. My bed had like a little window facing kind of like the valley and another cabin. Mm-hmm. So I'm just there kind of like trying to now relax and say, okay, well, yeah, you know, we'll stay. We go through the storm here and we will be all fine. Man, as I'm thinking all that, I'm looking at that cabin and then suddenly I see an explosion. An explosion, like a real explosion. Boom! And it starts to get caught in like a big fire, this cabin. And then, you know, my panic attack mode comes back and hits me in. And I just said to the guys, like, guys, there is a fire outside the cabin. And I remember Michael saying like, ha ha ha, very funny, Ted. And I'm like, man, I'm not kidding. Like, so I go back into panic mode, and we are now all of us looking at the cabin in front of the window. And while we're looking at it, boom, explodes again. And there's a lot of wind. The storm is starting hitting. So I'm tripping. It's like, man, this fire is going to come towards us. I go down, panicking, and I encounter this lady again, just knitting.
Still knitting
in front of the fire with her coffee, really relaxed. And I'm like, hey, there's a fire in front. Like, should we do something? Should we call? And she's like, yeah, that's normal. And I'm like, I'm all panicking, I'm like, it's a fire like 100 meters from us. Like that can easily come towards us. Anyways, she kind of gave me a little bit peace of mind because she's so relaxed. She's like, well, if you want me to call the fireman, I will do it. I'm like, yes, please do it. She did it. I did it. 10 minutes after, I'm seeing like all of the firemen coming, blah, blah. We were able to sleep. The storm passed by. We're leaving all kind of traumatized. Like there is like the whole van, it's quiet. We're just like driving, like being like, what the fuck just happened, man?
This reminds me of the time we had when we were in Mexico, when our mutual friend Viggo wake up and he looks on the roof and there's a scorpion in the roof.
You remember that time? We're all freaking out and I'm the only one like, hey guys, this is like...
Everyone is freaking out and Teddy is just like...
Guys, chill out. This is a good omen. And they're like, no, scorpion here, scorpion. I'm like, guys, like, chill down. Like, waves are gonna be here tomorrow, and we managed. But I remember Vegard, he was not able to sleep.
So you were the old lady in that situation, basically.
Now I was the old lady.
You showed me a clip yesterday of a live show with the Mystery Lights from Paris. But okay, so what's happened is that for some reason, which is hard to wrap my head around, the Mystery Lights has turned you into their. This is a spoiler, by the way. Into the end of the show, where you call it like the final song of the night.
Yeah. I mean, like.
Tell me what's going on here.
So, this band have so many great ideas. I think that one was not one of them. But I personally was thinking like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what was the idea?
So, as I tell you, regular tour schedule. Wake up, jump in the van. So there is this song from the 50s, 60s from a band called Los Psychos from Peru. That they are like, very known on the garage rock scene. They have become a legend by saying they are the creators of punk music, even though before the Ramones and everything. People can agree to disagree. If they were or not, it's like a great legend, Anyways, they are a great band for their time. They were really doing things that in Latin America were not much people doing, and they have like this particular sound in the recording that was like amazing. So, anyways, I always put every morning as a wake up song, Demolición.
Okay, so that's where it came from. You put on the song in the mornings.
I will put the song in the mornings, just like, we have a couple of songs for different times of the day that if I see that the vibe is coming down or low or whatever, just like hit them with a song. And, they're musicians and you can hypnotize them with music. So you put the song and they're like, suddenly they're happy, or suddenly they, calm down and stuff like that. So, we had that kind of anthems within ourselves being on the band. So I will put every morning that song. The song, like ironically speaks about like demolish a train station. Nothing like as more as a rebellious type of let's explode the train station. So we're in Switzerland, and as I tell you, arrive to the venue, loading, set up, blah, 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 sound check. And then out from the blue, while they are like sound checking, these guys haven't rehearsed this song. I mean, I've been with them 24/7. We already have like 5 shows locked in, and they start playing it, and it sounded amazing, you know. And then Michael Brandon, the frontman of the Mr. Lights, he is like, Teddy, come in, man. Like, let's just sing it. And I'm like, come on, Mike. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I'm just gonna do the lights, and I'm just here doing my things. Like, no, man. Come on, just for fun. Come on, jump in. I jump in. They start playing it. I start like, you know, it's mainly a song that, you know, you sing a little bit, but it's mainly like the screaming, like how much intention you put in those screams. Like this guy from Los Psychos have a really particular way of screaming. So it worked out. And then after the sound check, Mike said like, hey man, you're doing this song tonight. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he's like really ironical, and we are always like giving a shit to each other and being really ironic. So we call it gaslighting. We are always gaslighting each other's like with like all these jokes. So I think like, oh, the classic gaslight. Yeah. So I'm there doing the lights. We're in Switzerland, ironically, in a venue that it's a train station. It's in a train station, you know. I don't think we were like really thinking about it. I don't think he was really thinking about it. If he did, I mean, you know.
More power to him.
Yeah, more power to him. So anyways, I'm doing the lights. I know when it's coming the show to an end. So I'm kind of starting to wrap up the light show, blah, blah, blah. Show is over in my mind. And then I'm okay, cool. I'm going to the backstage. And then I just start hearing start playing the song. And I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing? I'm not even really remembering that we actually sound checked that song. And I look at it, and he started just like calling my name onto stage. Man, I have never been like, it was like a full packed place, maybe like 400 people or something like that. I've never been in front of people. You know, I've been a DJ, I have played bass live. You know, you can like just hide yourself and nobody sees you. Now he's putting me in the position of being the frontman, and I'm like, okay, so you know what? I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let my guys down.
Just go for it. Yeah.
I have already drank like a little bit of tequila that night, so I'm feeling ballsy enough to do it. I jump in. We did it, and people like went crazy. People went crazy. They were showing up. Like people in Switzerland is amazing too, and wrap up the song. You know, I'm feeling the high of all this, so I'm kind of liking it. And then right after the song's finished, like I'm seeing the faces of all the band members, and we are all having a lot of fun. And then Mike, he like gives me a slap in the back. It's like, you're doing this every night. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So now it became like an every night thing. And slowly, you know, after like the amazing show they have, kind of like now people knows what's to come. Now they're kind of like knowing. Some people that know the song, that appreciate the song, are looking for it. So suddenly, I became the last song of the show with them, which I'm really grateful for with them, that they give me that opportunity. Now it's like it's natural, you know. Now it's just like,
do they know what hell gates they have opened? Like now you're just gonna take the whole show from them.
No. I think they enjoy it as much as the crowd and as much as me, and it's like, you know, it's like just we try to do an affirmation to everyone of like how much fun it should be, how much, you know, it's serious, it's music, and they're professional musicians, but not because of that means that we cannot all together in that moment just get loose and just like do what we feel and smile and dance and jump and crowd surf and bump our heads and just like end up with like, you know, a good time.
It's fucking fun.
So they have a, as I tell you, they have really great ideas all the time. So their idea is them, you know. I'll give them all the credit. Yeah. I give them all the credit.
This is every roadie's dream, just to be on the stage and all of a sudden you're the show ender. And
I know, man. I know. Like, it's just crazy, and I think they love it, and I love it, and yeah, it's been awesome to be able to work with them and be a part of the band as family and friend and everything, and now like tour manager. We're having a lot of fun. We're definitely having a lot of fun.
Are you looking to expand your closer of the night with something new? Are you building upon your show closer?
I mean, I think for now it is that. It's just like a nice tribute to a really nice band from the 50s, 60s. They give tribute to a lot of like amazing bands that have made legend, that they're legendary on this kind of scene, like talking about the Monks, talking about Dead Moon. If you're familiar with it, amazing bands that they cover. So, you know, I think like whatever these guys have in mind for the future as for the show, they know I'm down, and you know, we're gonna just try to keep it fun.
The idea is so fucking fun because when you go to a concert and you pay to see a good band, you want to see it. The band plays an amazing concert, and then they just end the show with a complete random dude coming up on stage.
yeah,
in a cape.
It's you know, it's funny because, for example, in places like Norway, as you know, like I can speak a little bit of Norwegian.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like that same impression. They go, they pay to see like this amazing band. They are like high on the band already. And then suddenly these guys appear. He doesn't look Norwegian. He looks Mexican as fuck. And
he is Mexican as fuck.
Yeah, he is Mexican as fuck. So everybody's like, it's so funny to see their faces at some point when I jump on stage and I look at the faces around, and everybody's kind of like, like you know, they kind of like they're drop their eyes like, what the fuck is going on? But you know, they tag along and they're like, you know, they're excited. And in places like Norway, I always try to like be respectful, and I try to learn a little bit of the language, and I try to like speak them in their language so they feel cared from the band and from us. And Norway, it's a place that I can speak a little bit the language, and it's a difficult language. So I am seeing the faces of people when I get out. I'm like, can du komme nær på scenen? Og everybody they start coming like close to the stage, but they're coming close to just being like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why are we getting closer? And går det bra, Oslo? Yeah, I can go to ingenting. Går det bra? Yeah. So, you know, it's funny because now it's a mess up, and then like what is to come is like a crazy explosive song, and you know, they're like in the mosh pit and stuff, but I can still look at their face, and they're like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, I don't know what is this guy talking about, because it's a song in Spanish. He was speaking Norwegian. Like, what the fuck is going on? And in other countries, I have like really old guys coming to me, because, you know, this band is from the 50s, 60s, and I have had like very old guys coming to me, like approaching me, and they look at me and they're like, I knew it. You look too young to be the guy from Los Icos. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not the guy from Los Icos, but then at the moment they thought I was. And it's just funny, you know, it's funny, the perception of people, and they have give us reviews in everywhere that we have played. There was one really funny one that they said that the band turned up to be the backup band for a drunk uncle in a South American family party, which was really funny, but somehow it got into my veins, and I was like, these motherfuckers, you know, like, and I mean, I get the dark humor in it. I got it. So then I started getting out, because I used to go out with like a tequila bottle and give it to all of them. So after that, I started going out on stage with like a book now, and I will just like be reading it, or then I will go out with flowers and throw it to the crowd. Once we were in Berlin, and I get out with a Palo Santo and stuff like that, and then we wrap it up the tour in this country. And when that was our last show of the tour. And I just said in the end of the song, like, and buy the record, for the record, I'm not the drunk uncle. And everybody's like, yeah, you know. The band made a song about it too. Like, so it's just funny. It's just funny about like what we encounter sometimes with doing this song. It's funny.
So you're in it for a while now. This is your life now, tour managing?
This is my life now. I have a couple of other things going on in Mexico, in my hometown. I'm having like a food truck there and a record listening room.
San Pancho, Sayulita.
In San Pancho, in San Pancho, Nayarit. And, I'm a chef on the side, so I'm trying to do like a little bit of cooking for people when they are on holiday back home. And try to keep it like really there when I'm connecting with that side of me of cooking and my profession that is like being a chef. But I'm starting as well to slowly kind of like move on from that, and because as I tell you, this has been a dream for me since I'm really young. So now having the opportunity to work with the Mystery Lights, it's kind of like a reaffirmation of something that I've been looking for a long time. And being part of a band like as amazing as them, I'm like grateful, and I think we're taking the right steps and going the right direction. Yeah.
Okay, Teddy. I think we're gonna wrap things here. Every episode we do a recommendation. What's your recommendation this week?
Recommendation as for what?
Anything.
I will say drink water, a lot of it. Listen to good music. Eat healthy, and keep positive within all these chaotic times that we're living.
Wise words to go by.
Keep on your lane.
Yeah, and shout out to all of your hometown friends from Veracruz as well.
Man, well, I'm from Veracruz, not living there for a long time, but a big shout out to Veracruz, and even a bigger shout out to all of the San Pancho crew. Everybody there. It's amazing people, so big shout out to them.
And we have a house DJ in Reve Allstars, and he makes music, and you have to choose a sauce.
A sauce?
Yeah, you're a chef. So choose a sauce.
What do you mean a sauce?
Choose a sauce. It's exactly what I mean.
Okay, so I will say as for a sauce, let's do, let's just say a mushroom sauce. A mushroom sauce.
We don't have that. This is a terrible way to end a podcast.
I'm a chef, so I'm always going to be complicated. So let's just do like Tabasco.
We don't have that either. You can choose between honey mustard, chili cheese, béarnaise, or chimichurri.
Let's do the chimichurri.
Chimichurri. It didn't work. Fuck it. I'll edit it afterwards. Ciao.
Thank you. Fuck yeah, man.
She just sees the colors and go like,
Det tar jeg aldri med i beregninger.